All right, Shalom. First and foremost, give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rao Kakodash, double honor to all the apostles, great millstone, and rule well. Peace, love, and blessings also to you, sincere laborers out there on the highways and byways, giving out diligence to make that cause and election sure. And also blessings to you, few sisters out there listening, learning, and believing. I'm that fellow servant, Kanakla, coming at you once again with the lesson, Lord's will, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. This lesson is edifying and exhorting. Let me get right into it. This is an article here from RT.com. It says the U.S. loves to accuse other nations of being unable to cope in a crisis, but the chaos in Texas shows it can't look after its own. All right. And if you know anything about the hypocrisy of America, all right, and how America operates, how America runs, let's start with North Korea. Okay. North Korea didn't want to pretty much stop its nuclear program. So what happened? North Korea was sanctioned. All right, sanctions were put on them, so pretty much nobody could pretty much trade or buy or sell or do any business with them. Okay, and in terms of that, their people were starving. Okay, their people were starving because they blame it on their leader, like, hey, look, he's starving out his people. There's a crisis going on. He's inhumane. His people are starving, and he would rather continue in his nuclear program, right? Which they are the ones that put the sanctions on North Korea in the first place. Secondly, another example, Syria. Okay, Syria, they was talking about Assad was using chemical weapons, and pretty much they're saying, oh well, they can't, if you can't pretty much stabilize the region so your people aren't suffering anymore, we're gonna have to come in. All right, your people are suffering, your people are starving, your people are dying. Another example, see, we can keep going on. Another example was what country it was? Venezuela. Okay, Nicolas Maduro. Oh, inflation is bad, your people are starving. All right, if you don't get right, we're gonna have to send in aid. There's a crisis going on, we're gonna have to send in aid. And we can keep going on down the list. Okay, the Middle East, they saying, oh, hey, if you can't handle the terrorists over there in Iraq and Afghanistan, all right, if you can't handle the terrorists, we're gonna have to send UN troops over there because your people are suffering. So likewise, now here's this article in Texas. People's power were cut off, and people were starving. People were frozen to death. Okay, being poisoned. All kind of shit happening in Texas. But what happened? Where's the aid? Where's the order? All right. If not the governor or the mayor, he left and he went to Cancun, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So here it is. America want to police the other countries and pretty much talk about the crisis over in their countries. But here it is. You can't, here it is. Your people are suffering and you can't even maintain at home. Okay. Look at your own crisis. It says the U.S. has finger wagged at other countries for decades. And exactly. So now we see the hypocrisy. All right. America is being exposed. Okay. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. This is Isaiah 40:71. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. And that's talking about America. America is that virgin daughter of Babylon. Okay. It says, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. So right now they're not being called tender and delicate. They're being called pretty much hypocrites. That's pretty much what this article is saying, that they're hypocrites, which is rightfully so. All right. Next verse says, take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. So America is being exposed. All right. When a woman is uncovered, she's exposed, and everybody can see her her business, so to say. So America is being exposed, is being made bare. It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. What thy nakedness? Thy sins. All right, the wickedness. Okay, same metaphor as with Adam and Eve. They were found naked, meaning what they were pretty much underneath sin. That's when sin entered into the world, because they took on another philosophy. All right, another doctrine, if you will. It says, so thy nakedness shall be uncovered. So America's nakedness is being uncovered. Their sins, all right, their hypocrisy. It says, yea, thy shame shall be seen, and is being seen. That's why you got people reporting on this. It says the U.S. has finger wagged at other countries for decades. Allegedly, they can't care for their people. Now, how many times you heard America say that? All right, well, this country, they can't care for their people, whatever is going on over there. And I just gave you like 3-4 examples of countries that they say they can't take care of their people. So here it is, Texas. And at the same time, that's how slick these devils are. All right, these Edomites are, because they are the ones that far as like in the Middle East and Venezuela, they are the ones that destabilize the region, that send in jackals or agent provocateurs, or that pay people to riot, or that pay people to protest, all right, and cause the region to be unstable, to cause the chaos in the stable to be unstable. And then they say it's a problem. But you the one that pretty much set the house on fire. You're the one that started the problem. You the one that put insurgents in the country to try to overthrow the government, like you tried to overthrow Assad, all right? But if it wasn't for Russia, you would have been successful. It's like you tried to overthrow Venezuela. If it wasn't for Russia, you wouldn't be successful. And that's pursuant to Ezekiel the 38th chapter, Magog being a guard unto the other nations. Okay? So this is prophecy taking place. It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Because what? This is that sinful kingdom. All right, America, Babylon the Great, is that sinful kingdom, and the Lord is coming back. And he said, I'm not going to meet thee as a man. That's why you see, more so-called UFO sightings. All right, the Lord is coming back with divine power to take this man out of power. All right, to take dominion of the earth away from him, because the so-called white man is a wicked and oppressing ruler. He's a tyrant. Okay, let's go back to this article. It says, but when the disaster strikes at home, exactly. Well, and I'm going to get into the precepts, but when the disaster strikes at home, America is not prepared, with the winter storm in a Lone Star State just the latest example. All right. So it says, but when disaster strikes at home, bros already know where I'm going. Where I'm going. This is Habakkuk 2 verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. All right, the prophecies, ultimately the end game. All right, the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, is being implemented, is getting ready to be implemented, made mandatory. It says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And one of those prophecies, one of those visions, is these nations waking up to Babylon the Great. All right, we'll get that. We'll probably close out with that one. The nations were angry. All right. So let's get this. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Yea, because also because he transgresseth by wine. All right, that wine is that philosophy. All right, he transgresses by wine. He is a proud man. Oh, proud, and he's very proud. Don't they say they're proud to be an American? All right, he is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home. Okay, so here it is. This is prophecy being fulfilled. Let's read it again. It says the U.S. has finger wagged at other countries for decades, alleging they can't care for their people. But when disaster strikes at home, America is not prepared. So America is always in everybody else's backyard, but when it comes to the things they need to occupy at home, okay, they're not prepared. They can't they're not ready. All right, their people are suffering, but can point the finger at everybody. And what that's hypocrisy, man. All right. It says, yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, and neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire is as hell, and is as death. All right, because the so-called white man, he loves death. He loves death. All right, look at America. Wars, tyranny, oppression, murder, rape, pillaging. All right, robbery. That's what he loves. It says, and cannot be satisfied. So this man can't be satisfied. Here it is. Now they're trying to go into Iran. Okay. It says, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. All right. And that's why America is known as Babylon, because that's what Babylon was known for. Okay. To all nations coming together under one tongue, building that tower. All right. Then the Lord came down in Genesis 11 chapter. Read Genesis 11 if you haven't. And he confounded them. So America does the same thing. All right, everybody come here, and what's the dominant language? The dominant language is English. Okay. So it says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, and that thick clay is depth, man. All right, it means depth when you go into the Hebrew. Clay is depth, thick depth. All right, woe to him that increases that which is not his. Because what America's always trying to go in and invade another country and take over their resources. All right, but can't keep at home straight. All right, where there's mass poverty in America, homelessness, jobs lost. Okay. But that goes to show you the hypocrisy of America, okay? Because they talk about all these other countries, as this article is stating, and they can't maintain the problems they have at home. All right? You would think that, okay, if America is so humanitarian and care about their people so much, that everything will be good at home. You'll have no homelessness, no poverty. All right. People wouldn't be starving. All right. Crime rate will be low. But they want to go to every other country when America is not prepared. America is not set up. It says, shall not all these, it's like in verse 7. It says, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee? And that's these nations rising up and awakening from under this democracy, this rule. Okay. It says, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. All right. Be for spoils. That's what booty means. Spoils. Okay. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations. So who is this talking about? All right. Preferably Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. But America. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. And that's going to happen what? With nuclear missiles. These nations are going to shoot missiles. Even their own allies are going to shoot missiles over here. Okay. The Elder Tahar just did a lesson on the pipeline. All right, pretty much from Russia going into underwater pipeline. I believe it's 800 miles long. Okay. The pipeline going from Russia pretty much supplying Europe with fuel, with energy. Okay. Now they threatening to put sanctions on their European allies. Okay, if they don't stop with the deal with the pipeline from Russia. Okay. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth. Right? What's covet? Right? You want to take something that belongs to somebody else. Right? You plotting to take someone else's goods. Okay, and that's what America is known for. It says, woe to him, and woe means distress, destruction, misery. Okay, so what's prophesied for America? Misery, destruction, distress, perplexity. It says, woe to him that covereth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Okay? So that's pretty much it on Habakkuk. Let's go back to this article. It says the storm that ravaged Texas and moved northeast last week revealed once again major failures in America's infrastructure, causing unnecessary suffering, all right, and even death in affected areas. Power outages worsened during the week, depriving over 4 million people of electricity. Pipes froze and burst. Water treatment plants shut down. All right, people had parasites in their water. So America is becoming a third world country. It's already a third world country. It just hasn't physically manifested itself yet. All right, because morally it's finished. All right, it's in tremendous amount of debt. All right, it's just waiting for the that seed to sprout or that flower to blossom. All right, and it's about to. It says even that some hospitals were without water for days, while people lost heat, stood in long lines searching for food. All right, this sounds like characteristics or attributes of a third world country. It says the Big Chill contributed to deadly toll of over 70 fatalities. All right, the most so-called sophisticated country in the world. People dying from lack of access to water or power, electricity. It says across several states, among people who perished from carbon monoxide poisoning in in-house fires during road accidents and by freezing to death. All right. The Texas Agriculture Commissioner warned of food shortages and a food supply chain problem like never seen before, because ultimately the Lord is breaking down America and it's going to be destroyed. A famine is coming. Okay. With the worst of the storm over, as of a few days ago, over 14 million people still remain without a consistent supply of clean drinking water. All right. Once again, that's third world country conditions. It says, and hundreds of thousands of Texans had no electricity. Granted, it was an unexpected winter storm in states that don't usually experience such extreme cold. But if the Texas power grid and nation's emergency response were better, exactly. And once again, you'll respond to the other side of the world quickly. All right, when it happens somewhere else. But when it comes to your, for example, Katrina, Hurricane Katrina, how long did it take aid to get there? Okay. It took a couple days. But let a natural disaster or something pop off halfway across the world, America would be there within 48 to 72 hours. Okay? And that's sad because it's not their country. But here it is in their own backyard. That's why the scriptures say neither keepeth at home. In their own yard, they can't keep their lawn. They can't keep their lawn cut or their grass trimmed. But they going across the world to trim someone else's lawn when their lawn needs trimming. All right, it needs taken care of. It says Venezuela government was incompetent when similar power outages occurred. All right, so once again they get an example of Venezuela. And they were saying all kind of shit about the Venezuela. All right, president. Let's get some key points here because this is a long article. Yep, right here. I got to Venezuela 3 days into the first outage at the time when Western officials and media were accusing the Maduro government of incompetence, blaming it for the outages. Exactly. So they was criticizing or scrutinizing Maduro, all right, for the power outages over there in Venezuela. All right. It says blaming it for the outages and feigning concern for the same Venezuelans who were dying under Western sanctions. Exactly. So they were dying under Western sanctions. America was the cause of the people to die. And really, if you really want to, get deep, they might say this conspiracy. But what? America was the one orchestrating the power outages over in Venezuela. Okay? It says media were encouraged, depicting scenes of chaos and food shortages. Exactly. Western media. That's why you can't believe everything the Western media says. It says, but as I wrote at the time, wherever I walked and went, I found supermarkets supplied. And in Petare, a district known as the largest slum in Latin America, I found vegetables, fruit, chicken, food, and basics. All right. So wherever I went from the main square to the hillside. So what this dude is saying, how America was painting, oh, these people are starving. Okay, once again, Western media, he said he was able to go there and actually find certain fruits and food or whatever the case may be. He says, I definitely did not see chaos. To the contrary, people waited patiently in lines for ATMs and communities helped one another. Venezuelans calmly collecting spring water. As last week, Texans collected water from a public park tap, but Western media spun this falsely claiming they were collecting wastewater. Exactly. Oh, their people are collecting wastewater over in Venezuela. It's not right, but here it is over in America. People were shooting videos how they had to boil their water without electricity, and there were parasites in their water. All right. So that's pretty much it on the Venezuela. All right, that was the Yep, and in Syria. All right, and Syria has been warned upon for 10 years now. The American openly backing terrorists there and underly increasingly brutal sanctions that hurt the Syrian people and target reconstruction. And yet it might surprise readers to know that in the main highways are well maintained and smooth in contrast to many, if not most, of America's. Okay? Ever since going to Syria in early 2014, I have marveled at how the country maintains smooth roads. Well, over here in America, potholes everywhere. I believe the infrastructure is a D minus over here in America. Okay, potholes everywhere. All right, so they pretty much gave the same examples: Syria, Venezuela. But this is a good read, man, and it's beautiful that the nations are seeing it. All right, the nations are seeing the shame of this place. Okay, so we're gonna close out with one sec. This is Job 20 verse 4. Start at 4. It says, Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short? So that's why America is on his way out of here, because the triumphing of the wicked is short, man. Their rule is short. They're done. It says, and the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. So the joy of a hypocrite is for a moment, man. All right, and that moment is about up. All right, they're on borrowed time. It says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens. All right, you can take that and kind of sort of a duality, physically and spiritually. All right, America's at the top. All right, America was that was the place to be, like, far as on a spiritual level, that it's spreading its democracy. Of course, it's on the left hand side, spiritually wicked. All right, America was the place to be. All right, it was known, it had that fame. Okay, and then physically too, His Excellency America was the place to start of those big skyscrapers. All right, that was the start here in America. Okay. Not anymore. They don't hold the largest skyscrapers. They don't even build big skyscrapers like that no more. But, all right, His Excellency mount up to the heavens. Okay, it's space shuttles, it's space stations, and then they also lied about going to the moon. All right, so that's also His Excellency mount up to the heavens. All right, and his head reach unto the clouds. It says, yet he shall perish. Okay, just talking about the wicked. Yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, all right, they which, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream. And that's how Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, all right, Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America, all right, is going to fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. All right. The eye also which saw him shall no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. Okay, so that's it. That's it, man. That's it. I want to make this no longer. I already pretty much going a little long, but the hypocrisy of America is being exposed. Everybody sees it. Don't think just Ava Bartlett sees this, the author. All right, if she sees this, hey, and if nobody sees it, you know, hypothetically speaking, which, you know, everybody knows America and the way it acts, man. All nations have come out and pretty much spoken about it. But if you haven't seen it, well, you see it here now. People, imagine how many people seen this article. All right. So that's pretty much it. All right. America's being exposed. The nations, and this is gonna backfire on America. All right. It said, "Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. Shall not all this take up a parable against him?" So it's gonna come back to bite him in the ass. Okay. So that's why nobody respects America no more. All right. America isn't that reputable country anymore that it was known for. So that's the next time, say a shalom.